Hey, everybody. I have a lot to talk about this morning. I'm going to go slow. Some people say I talk very quickly, so I want you to make money. So pay attention. Yesterday, I came on and I said tech and the SPY was down 4 out of the last 5 days. So, likelihood it was going to go down yesterday. What happened at open? It spiked. My people on Discord puts on the SPY profit. So, same thing today. Although the market looks like it wants to maybe rebound this morning, because I'm looking at some stocks I'm going to point out some individual stocks that will have demand. That's the thing. So when the market turns, you're going to be well positioned. You'll be like, oh, the market's turning. It's going to rebound this afternoon or this morning or whenever it might be next week. You'll know exactly what stocks I'm looking for. But first, let's look at the 10-year. And let me just pull it up on my phone real quick because the US dollar is closing in on 101, which is pretty substantial. It makes it more expensive to invest in our market. And the 10-year is spiking again. Now, I was happy at 2.75. It even makes some of tech investable, right? At 2.85, it makes tech extremely expensive. At 2.91, and it looks like it's going up, people are going to sell tech. There's just no doubt about it. So again, there are some stocks that I'm looking at, and they're chip stocks that I'm looking at. Because if you look at Micron Technologies, right? It has a forward PE of 7, and it's at its point where it was at prior to everybody talking about chip stocks in September. Look at AMD, same thing, and look at NVIDIA. I'm going to pull up charts soon, but those are my 3 longer-term investments. But when we talk about the market today, it's going to be tough. I expect we're going to see exactly what we saw yesterday. So even if you're in UVXY calls and the UVXY starts down because the SPY starts up just like yesterday, I wouldn't worry. I expect we're going to see something similar to yesterday. Yeah, I mean, the 10-year is spiking. That's just, it makes it expensive. So what else is going on? Okay, well, China, as I mentioned again in another video, China kind of threw up on itself yesterday. I think it went down somewhere over 2%. So the Yang, which is the triple inverse of the Chinese Hang Seng market, should be up like 6%. I think it's up somewhere between 3 and 4%. I'm going to take profit this morning because understand, if our market starts out strong like yesterday, the Yang will start to drop. So I'm going to look for a spike at open and look to exit out for those in that position with me. What else is going on? Well, we know that Russia invaded Ukraine, the Donbass region, which is the eastern region. That's not good news. Vladimir Putin is going to get frustrated. He's going to bomb the hell out of them, and they are going to have cyber attacks on the U.S. Now, why haven't they had cyber attacks in the U.S.? And when Russia does their cyber attacks in the U.S., it's going to cripple us. They're going to attack energy. They're going to attack pipelines. They're going to attack infrastructure. Now, why haven't they attacked yet? Okay, so I've read some interesting articles, and here's the reason, okay? Russia is thinking when they're done invading Ukraine, however it works out, obviously they're hoping to win. They're thinking they can get the sanctions from the European Union's reduced. And with that said, maybe America will follow suit. So that's Russia's hope. Now, what's actually going to happen is once the battle between Ukraine and Russia plays out and finally ends, the sanctions are going to remain in place. And that is when Russia is going to start their cyber attacks to disrupt everything in the U.S. So sectors are just going to be. So what does that mean? Okay, well, it means long-term investments, right? We can invest in net. We can invest in DDOG. Now, I mentioned net when it was 129, and I was entering at around $105. So yeah, we're at like 107 yesterday. I entered at 105 last week, and then I sold at 118. I'm going to keep doing it. So when you find something that works for you, just step and repeat. Now, here's the other interesting factor about the market today. I'm looking at energy, and we all know energy has been off the hook. Oil's been going up, oil stocks, uranium stocks, all energy-related stocks. So I'm actually looking at energy this morning, and let me just tell you where oil is. And oil is off 2.57%. So now oil's pulling back, right? Other energy stocks are pulling back. And understand, those were very supportive of the market. Even though everything else was struggling for days, plus this day, that day, whatever, energy's been pretty strong. So what happens if energy pulls back? Well, if energy pulls back, the rest of the market pulls back. Again, when I'm looking at the 10-year and the 10 years over 2.91, and then I'm looking at the US dollar, which is spiking over 100.86. Now, understand, it was at like 97, 98 when the 10-year was at like 2.4. So things are more expensive. One other stock I wanted to talk about. So those of you who maybe watched my video about AMC, GameStop, and Mullen, I said AMC and GameStop, yeah, they have support, the true meme stocks. I said Mullen, I shorted at 324 right in here, and I bought it back at 215, probably this day here. Point is, it doesn't have the support, it doesn't have the volume, which is what I was telling you guys. I was saying AMC and GameStop was trading, X million shares at $20 a share, or X million shares at $145 a share. This one was trading 260 million shares at $3. That's under $1 billion right there. So I said, when demand goes away, Mullen is going to go down. Now, these people on the internet, on YouTube, just like me, keep talking, Mullen's great. Yeah, Mullen, let's look at the market cap of Mullen, right? Mullen has a market cap of 440 million. It's still too high. This company does not have earnings. They lose money. 15-week high, $16. What a load of crap, man. So yeah, it would not surprise me. Let's see where Mullen can go down to, because people still like this. Yeah, I mean, Mullen's going to break $1 on the way down. There's no doubt. I mean, 84 cents, a little support, $1.07. So yeah, Mullen's probably going to go down even more. $1.80. I would not be a buyer of this until $1.08. That's my view on Mullen. I just had to go on and say it. Now, an interesting thing is Netflix has earnings coming out today. So after hours. Now, let me tell you a quick story about Netflix, okay? We all know that I go in streaks. I'm either on fire or maybe I'm a little off. Right now, I'm on fire. 23 straight trades for myself, 13 straight alerts for my Discord platform, all profitable. It's a nice streak. So I had a streak like this going into the pandemic. We had Netflix. They're reporting their Q2 earnings. And I said to myself, man, pandemic's here. People were signing up for Netflix like it was going crazy. I say to myself, I'm going to buy Netflix options. Now, Netflix was $504 when I bought those options, right? So Netflix started out, this is like, a year, maybe 2 years ago, I guess. Netflix started out and it went to $475 that day. And I'm like, I'm buying Netflix options. It's going to close at $575 the next day after earnings. So I bought my options at $475. It went up and closed at $504. And I'm like, damn, I'm going to be right. It's going to go up 10% after hours. I'm going to be worth $250,000 worth of Netflix options. I had like 60,000 invested. Originally, it was 25. I already doubled my money just by investing in Netflix as earnings were coming out that evening. So I invested. I'm like, okay, holding my phone. I'm walking to Publix, to the supermarket down here, saying to myself, oh man, I can't wait to make all this money. I'm literally going to make $200,000 in like 5 minutes as soon as the earnings come out. Earnings come out. They say they beat earnings, right? Revenue was up. Everything was up. And the stock was up 6%. I'm like, okay, here it comes. And then it just drops. It dropped 25 points. It dropped another 10 points before I finished at Publix. So it was down 35 points. Now, why? Because their guidance, their forecasting. So I always talk about earnings and guidance and forecasting. So their forecasting for the third quarter was shit. So they were selling the hell out of Netflix. And then I went and looked at the historical chart for Netflix for their second quarter. And that was their worst performing quarter when they reported in the second quarter. So it was year after year. And I'm like, Jesus, if I had just looked at that, I would have saved money. So I get a lot of people are hyped up when earnings come in. They're going to take a rider on Netflix, something like that. But let me tell you, I looked at the put options on Netflix, and they far outweigh the call options going into earnings. And now the same thing is true for the UVXY. I looked at the calls on the UVXY versus the puts on the UVXY. Okay, that's more even. So there is a mix in the market. So that's what I'm coming down to. The market isn't going to completely sell off. It's not going to completely skyrocket, but you have to be in the right stocks. So if the market moves north today, I've picked out some stocks that I want to take advantage of and play. And I'm going to read them off to you. Plug, I would stay the hell away from. Plug made a deal with Walmart this morning. They're up 7% pre-market. Stay away from it. Another meme stock of sorts, ATER, which has had a lot of demand. Stay away from it. Stocks I'm looking to get into, okay? Coin, why? Kathy from ARK came out with their theory about Tesla, $4,600. They provide a full report. Kathy from ARK, they get a lot of money into their ARK funds. Why? She and her company, very smart, very researched, very detailed. So they believe coin is undervalued. I completely agree with them. I know crypto's struggling. So I'm not telling you coin's going to skyrocket today. I mean, you look at the coin chart, see all those yellows? They're selling the shit out of it from $203, but it's no longer $203. It's $145 right now. So it's up 28%, coin is, since the beginning of April. I mean, we're like 2/3 through April. We're 20 days into April, and the stock is down 28% this month. So yeah, I like coin long-term. I like net long-term. I have a couple more. Oh, here's one, JB Hunt Transport. So I'm going to pull up this chart. And this is a good one for you because even in a tough market, this stock should decently. Let me just see, JBHT, okay? So JBHT, let me pull it up. And I'll let you guys look at the price with me, and then we'll scroll down so you can see what I'm looking at. Okay, so here it is, JBHT. It is a Dow Transport. So when you hear Dow Transports were beat up, yes, this one was beat up. And let's look at the 3 months so I can show you exactly what I mean. Here you go. It was 218, and it basically fell off a cliff. Now, I know some people like plays like that because they're like, oh, it's going to rebound. It's automatic. Not always is it automatic. Now, the reason JBHT is more automatic is it's an integral part of shipping. They ship all throughout the U.S. Shipping's not going away. Even with bottlenecking happening on the waterways, we still need shipping here in America. You need to get your products. You need to get your construction. Oh, housing up this morning. It was housing permits and things. It's strong for the market. So again, I like Dow Transports. We're looking at this one. I've told you guys before, when something falls, and let me see if I can just show you a chart. Oh, here's something I can show you a chart. Let me get me up on the screen real quick, and then we'll bring it back. So this is a good lesson right here. Okay, when something drops off the face, you'll see it go like this and drop, which we just saw. Then they usually start to try and make a rebound, which I told you guys before, and it usually falls lower. At that point, it'll flatline and bottom and then finally turn up, okay? So you see my drawing. Now let's get back to the chart. Let me see if I can pull that up real quick. Boom. All right, so you can see exactly what my drawing looks like, right? Do you see it? It's a little lower on, let me just get my cursor out. It's a little lower right here, right? And then it flatlines here. So I'm not saying JBHT is going up today, but hell yeah, this is going to fill the gap to like at least 188. So let's just see where we're at right now. What is it, 174? Something like that, 175. 174 pre-market. Okay, and it's actually 171 is where it closed because I don't pay attention to pre-market shit. So 171, because there's no way if I'm getting to JBHT that I'm paying 174. I'm looking for its low from yesterday. So there's a good tip as well. So if I want to get into JBHT today, I'm going to look to purchase when it's around $169. You can see the low from yesterday was 168.57. So don't chase. If I don't get into my options today, that's fine because I don't need to. Now, what I said earlier, and I told you guys 4 out of the last 5 days, now 5 out of the last 6 days, negative for tech and for the SPY. The 10-year is spiking. So I'm telling you right there, tech will probably have a tough day. Now, even if tech opens up, we'll start with tech. Even if tech opens up, like let's say it goes from negative whatever it is, 20 to plus 80, you have to figure out when it's plus 80, is it going to go up another 80 points or is it more likely to go down? Now, for yesterday, again, when the markets open up, people were saying, hey, dude, you said the markets were going to go down today. What the hell is going on? And I was looking at the markets. I go, what I said yesterday morning is, I don't know if today is going to be green or red, but I could tell you the majority is red. So even if today is green, I would be looking to enter puts. I think that was word for word what I said yesterday. So the same thing is true today. I'm going to watch the market. If I see the SPY go up, I'm going to be looking for puts. Now, remember, we don't just jump into SPY puts. There are certain points we look at. So remember, the SPY, 434 is a floor. 438 is a floor and a ceiling. 442, floor and a ceiling. It's every 4 points. So you see, once it breaks through a certain level, it's probably going to hit the next level up. Once it breaks through a certain level, it's going to hit the next level down. But again, the market's not going to completely sell off. So a lot of people in UVXY calls are like, oh, the market's going to capitulate. It's just going to throw up on itself. No, I mean, they're buying certain stocks. So yes, Even JBHT can go down like another 2% today, even though it's up pre-market. So again, that's why we don't chase, because we're having strategy. Okay, so again, just going to repeat some long-term investments for me. JBHT, NVIDIA, AMD. I mentioned yesterday that I spoke to my tech geek over the weekend. He gave me a new computer setup and all that good stuff. And I was like, dude, Mark, what do you like? And he's like, AMD, NVIDIA, strong companies. And he's like, he just knows things about tech that no one knows. And I go, okay, let's look at it. So I pull up AMD and I pull up NVIDIA. And I'm like, they're selling the shit out of it, man. And he's like, I don't get it. I go, that's the thing about the market. You have to follow trends. Just because you or I or Mark figures out something like AMD is a real company with great future potential, and he's like, the chips that they're designing are off the hook, right? Even if he thinks that if they're selling AMD, you've got to wait to the bottom. So yes, AMD, NVIDIA, those are two plays that I'm looking at. So if the market decides that it wants to reverse today and it wants to take a chance at being strong, which is a possibility. Now, if the market is strong today, I would predict red tomorrow. I don't think we're going to see 2 green days in a row, because we shouldn't, because the 10-year is spiking and things are more expensive. So again, same strategy I have. If the UVXY goes down substantially, I'll be buying calls, and I probably will not go out till Friday. So say the UVXY goes down today and it's like 1270, which would be like down 40 or 50 cents. I wouldn't be playing calls that expire Friday, because if I'm wrong about the market today, let's say it's a green day, UVXY goes down, then there's okay chance that maybe tomorrow's green as well, and the UVXY goes down even further. So if I'm in UVXY calls, I'll get screwed if they expire Friday. I'll be like, oh, please, Thursday, Friday needs to turn around. Rather than doing that, remember how we enter into positions. Lately, I've been following one of my rules where I buy one contract. I wait till I'm 12% down. It's crazy. No matter what contracts I buy, I'm 12% down. So if you have the same problem, you buy something and you look at your phone, you're like, I'm down 23%, and it happens over and over again, have that light bulb moment. And the next time you're going to bid on a contract, like me, all right, I was going to bid 97 cents the other day, $97. And I said, I'm always off by 12%. Let me bid 86. And you know what happened? It went down a little past 86. It went to 80, and then it spiked back up to 90. But I was in at 86. So when I looked, I was already 4 to 5% profitable. Now, if I had put in my initial bid at like $97 or $96, I would have looked back. I would have been down 5%. So up 5% versus down 5%. It's a big freaking change when you're playing with options. And remember, my latest strategy, I'm only trying to make 3% a day. So if you missed that video, you could start with $100. As long as you make 3% on your account for one full year, which is about 250 trading days, you'll have $4.8 million. I made a video, explains it all. It's about compounding interest, basically. So in order to do that, I don't have to risk everything. The other day I was talking about I had $1,900, I was going to make $60 and be up to $2,000. Next day, make $60, be up to $2,060. Well, the account's at like $2,400 or $2,500. So today, 3% is $75. 3% the next day, $75. So I'm basically looking to take my account from $2,500 to $2,800 for that challenge by Friday. So even if I have a bad day, and let's say I lose 3% today or 5% today, it's okay, because I know what my goal is. You got to break down the larger steps. You don't go from A to Z. You've got to go A to B to C to D. Take little steps. And people say, oh, that's stupid, man. You're never going to make any money. Do the freaking math. It's like the example. If I gave you 1 penny and I doubled it for 30 straight days, right? So here's 1 penny. Then I give you 2 pennies the next day. 4, 8, 16, 32, 64, 128, 256, 5, 12, 10, whatever it is, 2050. Anyway, the point is, by the 30th day, you're going to have like $1.4 million, or maybe it was like more than that. It might have been more than that. The point is, you start small. You don't have to press yourself. And this is the other example, right? I met someone new and they wanted to get into trading. They said they're going to put $10,000 into a trading account and they're going to figure it out. Well, that's a damn expensive lesson. If you want to get into something, or you don't trade options, but you want to try trading options, start with $200. You know, if you have $1,000, start with $200. That way you can screw up and blow up your account once, twice, 3 times, and then you still have $400 left. And you know what you can do with the 400? Make back all your money. It's simple. I had the small account challenge. I'm transparent as hell. I blew up the small account because I wasn't feeling well. I wasn't into the market really. It was 1 week of bad trading. I took $1,300 down to like $40. I put $700 back in, and in the past week, I've made $1,800. So I lost $1,300, but I made $1,800. Now, the $1,800 I made in literally 5 trading days off of the small account, I was only shooting for 3% each day. The first day I made 15%, the second day 20%, the third day 89%. It was a good call. The fourth day, I don't know, maybe like 11%. You don't need to crush it every day. Again, today, that one account, I'm just shooting for 3%, which would be $75. So if I make $200, I'm blowing it out of the fucking water. There's no doubt about it. Okay, so we're almost ready for trading. Oh, let's see if we have any questions real quick. Let me see. I see Upstart. Yeah, that's what I was looking at. So let me, you know what? Let's pull it up here. Why not? You're here. Let's pull it up rather than me look at my phone. UPST. All right, so Upstart, and then I'll pull it up for everybody to see. $81 is right where it is, which kind of makes sense. When it flew up, that was a little ridiculous. So here's the thing. Here's what we do. We look at the right corner first, and we see its 52-week high was $400. Okay, so $400 to $80, you're off like 70%, right? You look at the high and low from the other day, 82.61, 79. So it closed in the middle. It actually has earnings, so its forward PE is only 57. Now, understand I say only 57 because a lot of companies, if you don't have earnings, you don't have a forward PE. A lot of companies, if you have very little earnings, your forward PE could be like 3,000 or something to that extent. So that's actually not bad, 57. So yeah, there are a lot of stocks that it's almost time to get involved with. Now, I would wait on this stock. Why? Such little volume, and they're still selling it. So what's going to happen? Hopefully it's on my screen with me. It is perfect. So what's going to happen with this stock is this stock will not turn around until tech turns around. So I've already told you today, as the 10-year spikes and the dollar goes up, a stock like this is more expensive. So I would stay away from this stock. If you're looking to get into this stock, then I might say you might be waiting a little longer, and you're waiting for tech to at least bottom. And it broke down. Let's see. It broke down. Maybe over here, 84. I mean, we're basically at the bottom of this one. So it's surprising. I guess it had some huge demand at 63 all the way up to 140. So yeah, I mean, it technically can go down to probably $67 or $70 in a tough market. And it could also rebound up to $102. So the fact that you can go 20 points lower or 20 points higher, I would stay away from it. There are so many better stocks that if the market decides to strengthen and turn around, it'll go up. So the XLE, we always love the XLE. In fact, I gave my price target in my video on YouTube, XLE at 81.49, and that would be my exit. Well, let's see where XLE went because I'm pretty sure it passed that yesterday. 81.50. So my strategy when XLE was $76, $77, I said 81.49, I'm out. So it's 81.50. So here it is. 81.02 this morning, but it went on 81.50 yesterday. I would be careful with energy. Yes, there's going to be continued demand, but I'm certainly not going to chase it higher, especially not when oil is on the way down. Oil, now it's off over 3% this morning, which will hurt energy companies. Okay, everybody, it is time to trade. By the way, check out the Netflix video I dropped, which was correct. Twitter, I gave you the insight there. Mullen, I told you it was going down. These videos I drop on YouTube are pretty darn important. So if you have 5 minutes to check out